Hey everyone, David C. Anderson from the Knife Center coming at you from SHOT Show 2024. We're here at the Spyderco booth with our good friend Eric Glesser.
Nice to see you again.
I got your name right this time.
Yeah, I got it.
It's good to see you.
Nice to see you, man, always.
So we've got some stuff here, mostly from the reveal number 14.
Right.
That was just announced very recently, but we're getting a chance to see stuff in hand for the first time.
Yep.
And hopefully they'll be getting into your guys' hands real soon, too.
Yeah. They're all coming down the pipe.
Let's start over here with... I'm particularly excited about this first one, actually. The Bodacious.
The Bodacious? Yes.
Yeah.
I love the Bodacious, one of my personal favorites. If you like the Shaman, which I do know a number of people know the size of the Shaman, that'll give you a good idea. They're almost the exact same length. But where this one really parts away is this doesn't have the 4-finger choil, so you're going to get a lot more edge, a lot more cutting power in that sense for the edge length.
Yep.
Comes with a full flat. If you know the Bodacious, we really kept that theme with the grind where we have that spine a little bit thicker up here top. We widened out the bevel a little bit here at the tip, so you have some more strength with that tip. With the Bodacious, different from the Bodacious, or from the Shaman, is as a thinner blade stock too. A little bit more slicey,
but still plenty durable. Like it's not a shrimpy blade.
No, it's definitely not a shrimpy, and it's flat scales. Where the Shaman has those curved scales.
So you kind of carried that theme through. It's going to be a little more pocketable.
A little bit lighter in the weight. Open back construction, has that backspacer at the back to give it rigidity and better for the palming. Reversible clip. We don't do a lot of polished G10, but like the Shaman, it also has a polished G10. So really fun to go in and out of the pocket with. Beautiful construction, strong as hell.
It's going to be nice. Well, I'm like a drop point guy in general, and I have plenty of straight spine Spydercos, but this one's really exciting me for that reason because it's I like the Shaman, but there's something about this that I think for me is going to be a little easier or a little more everyday carry friendly for what my needs are. So that's what's got me excited.
And for those drop points, like with Spydercos, you don't get as much of those drop points, and so you can can really bear down on that front of the edge and have tons of confidence in this lock area. And oftentimes that tip and that curve gets so much pressure because of the drop. We're excited about this one. It's fun.
Compression lock, of course. Yeah, it's speaking to me for sure.
Great action. Yeah.
S30V, Golden, Colorado, USA.
Yep, good stuff.
All right, next up, expanding sort of the PM2 Crewwear Micarta family.
Yes, Crewwear is going across the board, but we're going to be pulling them out as we can. So these two are the Manix XL. This one was hand machined, so you might see some machine marks in it. Naturally, in production, you're not going to see that.
Sure.
It's also been handled a bit, so
it's starting to get a little dark.
Starting to get a little dark. But if you are a fan of the Manix, especially in Crewwear, it's going to be a nice addition. With the XL, with that big palette, you're going to get some beautiful patining. You know, that open construction all the way through here, the great weight, the very strong ball bearing lock, really proven itself out.
For sure.
You know, that additional jimping. Huge hook at the back, much bigger than you'll see most Spydercos. Definitely not sliding out of the hand. Can definitely choke up on it. Screw together construction. Really, it's got a hell of a reputation for a long time, and just another great flavor of it.
And another great drop point.
Yeah, thank you.
No, for sure. Like for those of you who may be familiar with the standard size Manix, the XL does give you more blade. It doesn't give you much more handle length because that beak is there to really kind of hold you in, but you get a stronger feeling hold and that extra edge.
And all the thicknesses are the same as the other Manix.
Right.
So we just stretched it out, but you have slicing power.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Excellent. So we're seeing it there and in the Military 2.
Yep, our classic iconic Military went to the Military 2, which has that 4-finger choil, improved ergonomics. And then it has the 4-way clip, which wasn't on the old one, so a little bit more standard in options. Open construction.
And of course the compression lock.
Yep, compression, canvas micarta, beautiful jimping. It's really one of our flagship pieces, like I said. We really CQ'd this a lot. We're very proud of our military models.
Well, and that crew carta makeup, as everyone calls it, is a nice one because I like the toughness of Crewwear as a steel. And it always feels like it has this rugged personality. So the matchup there with like the brown natural micarta there, same kind of attitude. So I think it really works.
Performance and beauty. Really does.
Indeed.
It does.
Indeed. All right, let's transition to
MagnaCut,
the baby brother of the military too.
Yep, so this is the paramilitary 2. This is our bidirectional texturing, yellow and black. With this one, you might see a central rib that goes down the middle. That's so that when you're going in and out of the pocket, whatever clip position you have it in the four-way, it's going to go in and out easily. Gotcha. Very nice chamfers around the edges too, so it's not ripping up the pocket. The yellow gives you that pop. So this is MagnaCut. It is part of our Salt series.
So everything from the blade to the screws to everything.
Everything. Rust resistant. Now H2, damn near rust proof. I mean, good luck rusting that stuff.
Right.
MagnaCut, not quite as much, rust resistant.
But still quite up there.
Yeah, if you're in lakes, things like that, even along the coast, and keeping your knife clean, going to do the test of time all day long. But you will see the blacked out hardware and the blacked out liners. That's so that we can add some more corrosion resistance to those components. Even while they are corrosive resistant components, the coating certainly
helps
adds
a little bit more.
And then you have that satin blade. And then we're doing, as you showed, the all blacked out version.
Yep.
The blacked out version, one of the big differences is this still has the peel ply. So you get a little more texture with the blackout than you might get with the non-blacked out with the yellow and black. Still grips wonderfully though.
Yeah. Now, does this have? Is this using some of the new coating processes
you
guys been working on?
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit about that.
So you're paying attention.
Yeah,
Totally excited about our new coatings. So we're bringing a lot of that in so that we can have more control over it, bring a better quality product to you. And we are going to be bringing a new coating. DLC, great coating. We've been doing it a long time. Still love DLC, and we're going to still offer DLC in a number of knives. But towards the U.S., we're starting to transition that model to a new coating. I'm not exactly saying what it is quite yet until we're a little further on the market.
Okay.
The beauty of it is its lubricity. You can tell in the action, the riding of the ball and bearing, the slicing, it's going to give you great lubricity. That's one of the reasons DLC came to the market. With that carbon in DLC, it gives you that lubricity.
So you've got a coating that's less likely to impede your slicing. That's less friction to the equation.
Yeah,
but this is even more so, you're saying.
Yeah, that we're still putting numbers to it.
Okay.
It feels to me like it's has more lubricity than satin though. So that's big for me.
So like the coating actually makes it more efficient.
It does.
Oh my goodness.
That's what it's looking like.
Okay.
It's also just as durable. Gets black just as well. But also we have more spectrum in our colors, and DLC gets hot. So you can only do so many steels. You have to kind of watch that.
Because it will affect the heat treat.
Yeah, you don't want to temper it.
Exactly.
So this is a lower heat coatings, so we can add it to more steels, more materials. So it's going to be able to bring you greater performance, lower cost, and keep rolling towards the future. CQI.
Cool, man. Well, I'm looking forward to when you come up with a good name for it and put it out there. I'm looking forward to that because it sounds very intriguing. And is that is going to be on this model? Or
I think initial runs probably not.
Okay.
It will probably be a couple runs in. Because we're slowly transitioning everything. So I think the first runs are DLC. By the end of the year, though, just about everything's going to be that new coating.
All right. Well, let's rock on with the Salt line. These are more MagnaCut blades, yes?
Yes, MagnaCut. Very proud that we were the first production knife company to get it onto the market. And if you know our mule team, that's just so we can get steel into the market. You can test it. And what we found when we got it into the market is that we needed to refine it a little bit further, and it's taken us some time. And so, yes, we were the first, and a lot of people have jumped on it, but now we're really jumping on it.
Because you always want to make sure you get it just right.
Yeah, we want to get for those who don't know, go deep cryo on your MagnaCut. I mean, we really honed in on that heat treat. We're really proud of our execution on it, and now we can start joining it with the rest of the knives. And so your coated hardware, satin components that are your MagnaCut. If you know the Chief, which is one of my favorites as well, just like some of the others, has no liners, so it's really lightweight, and with that back lock and those thicknesses, it's strong, great self-glows, solid lockup, jimping, it's a slicer. It's a beautiful piece.
We've kind of described this before as we have a concept we think of as calling the Big Easy knife, where you've got this kind of reach, but it's never something that's going to weigh down the pockets. It's not heavy or clunky to use. And this was one of the ones that when we were kind of refining that idea and putting a video together, this was one that came to our mind pretty early on. It really has that.
Yeah, it does have that. And then right down the line, there's a green version too.
Oh, yep.
I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but that's the LC200N version. And so we're transitioning most of our knives that if you see yellow, think MagnaCut, or H2.
Or the H2,
yep.
right.
Or you see green, you think LC200N.
So how would you compare the LC200N to the MagnaCut? Obviously the MagnaCut would probably hold an edge longer, but what about the toughness and the corrosion resistance?
I don't know if it just totally obviously holds an edge much longer. LC200N is good. I would leave it to the customer to compete for wear resistance. I honestly think they're comparable in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Both have great edge retention, both have great wear resistance, good toughness. You know, I think I've admitted this in the past, that LC200N can be a challenge to fabricate. Certainly has some of those challenges. What MagnaCut brings to the market is that balance. It's one of the most balanced steels in the world.
Yeah.
You know, is it the best wear resistant steel in the market? No. Is it the best corrosion resistant steel in the market? No. Is it the toughest in the market? No. Is it one of the most balanced?
Yes. Absolutely.
And that's even on the fabrication level. But LC200N, if you're looking for the guy that's not grinding and cutting them, and you're looking for performance, LC200N is an awesome steel to work with as well.
I've used the Spidey Chef pretty extensively with that steel, and what I've always been impressed with it is the stability at the edge. Just being able to like twist on the blade and not have it chip out on me in like hard wood. Was definitely impressed me when I put it to the test.
It's a tough steel. You know, where you really see LC200N is in the, and I know I've already touched on, is the fabrication. You go to sharpen it and polish it and grind it and laser cut it, and it reacts differently than a lot of steels. And taking that further, you're going to see it in your pocket and its performance as well. But it is a fun steel. We're so happy to be able to work with these things.
For sure, man. Absolutely. Couple more MagnaCuts to take a look at in the Salt line. You got the Para 3 and the Manix.
And so we're launching MagnaCut across the board. As we get done with them, we will reveal them and deliver them. But you're going to see it in the Manix, the paramilitary or Para 3. But you know where we're really starting to go ahead on our salts is adding those G10s, like we talked about further. But we've been making salts now for more than 15 years. We're getting better and better at it, and we're going to continue to get better at it. So
good stuff. Got one more lightweight model to take a look at.
Yep, probably taking a little longer to get to the market than I've liked. For most people, they're not looking for a big knife. You know, 3 inches is max for a lot of people. And even 2.5 inches is what this one is about a sweet spot for carrying every day.
So it's the Lil Native lightweight.
Yes, and you can get your full hand on it. Getting a 2.5 inch knife with a full hand, that gets tough. And the lock is strong. With that mid-back lock and that build, you can put your thumb on it and you can really work that knife with great confidence. Deep pocket wire clip so it hides away. Bidirectional texturing. It's linerless, so it's really lightweight. And stuffing a lanyard hole was really hard to get in there, and so I always point it out. I
mean, the little guy right there.
Getting that spring in there with the mechanics and the blade and the clip, but we stuffed it in.
For sure. Well, I'm a big fan of this knife. I really like the slip joint version personally. That's the one I personally like. But this one is even thinner on the blade than that version.
You're right.
It's slicier.
It is. It is a thin blade stock. Usually don't see that thin a blade stock from us, but for a 2.5 inch knife, you know, and we wanted that ease of carry, it's a slicer.
So is this slimmer than the compression locked versions out there as well?
It is. The compression lock versions are 145, if I remember correctly. This brought it down to 125. And so, we thin that all out. And for most people on a daily carry like that, it's oftentimes food, zip ties, packages, bags of chips, things like that.
You just need something quick and efficient.
Right. You don't need a big, thick, stocked blade or nothing too big. So, the great everyday carry.
Very, very nice. And last but not least, new collab with LionSteel.
Yep, LionSteel. This is a flash batch, so we do it one time and we don't do it again. It's a 2,000 piece run, comes with M398, canvas micarta, titanium reel with the stainless interface. It has a flipper that you can remove if you don't want it. They make a knife called the Maito. And so we took their Mito and we spiderized it by adding that hourglass clip and round hole. But you know, working with LionSteel is such a pleasure. They're one of the best knife makers in the world.
They're good folks, for sure.
And good folks, too. The good people.
Folks, and they do a good job.
Yep.
So I've obviously held the Mito before. The Spyderco hump there definitely gives it a new flavor. It has a more almost forward aggressive feel than the standard version.
And with that rounded spine, you get your thumb up on that thumb hole and you can go to town with it.
Yeah,
and it's got an enlarged hole. I mean, if you look at that size of that hole compared to a lot of our knives, you know, for a knife that size, you know, you get it open, you put your thumb, you work it. Though it's beautiful in its construction, it is made to be a workhorse.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what do you think the M398 brings to the table over the M390?
Well, it's early in its stage, so I always like to watch these steels be in the market for a while. A little bit higher carbon, so it's going to have better wear resistance. Looking for, you know, I think the corrosion and toughness is probably comparable. You know, for us, we generally go for wear resistance first.
Right.
You know, our customers like knives to stay sharp a long time. They're not trying to pry with them a lot. I mean, when we're doing our, you know, Rex 121s, our Maximets, things like that, we want wear resistance. So
like at all costs, basically.
At all, that's what we do. And so, yeah, M398 bumps up that wear resistance, at least according to our tests. And let's get it in the market and see how it does.
Cool.
But if you know M390, it's iconic. You know,
almost ubiquitous nowadays.
204P, 20CV, M390. I mean, beauty.
Good stuff.
And so if we can dabble a little bit more into there, let's do it.
Put a little extra sprinkle on top.
Yeah, sounds great.
Good stuff. Well, like I said, this was all pretty much Reveal 14 stuff. This stuff is available for pre-order on KnifeCenter if it's not in already. This stuff is starting to make its way out and make its way out to you folks as well. So, but if you want to get your spot in line, you can make a pre-order, no money down at the KnifeCenter. There will be a link in the description. It'll take you over there. Eric, thank you so much.
I always love seeing you, man.
I do too.
I love your knife knowledge. It's great.
I appreciate that, man. Yours too. Thanks, everyone, and make sure to check out the rest of our SHOT Show coverage. See you next time.
Thank you.